Howdy. Today, we will be taking a look at the Adamas Machina Predaking. This figure is quite possibly the pinnacle of Transformers collectibles. It is designed to be the best, most high-quality iteration of Predaking we've ever seen. This set comes with 2 large swords for Predaking, 2 over-the-shoulder cannons, 1 arm cannon that splits into 2 blasters, 1 adapter for the Masterpiece flight displays, 4 smaller blasters for the individual Predacons, and 1 painted larger blaster for Razor Claw. In their individual robot modes, the Predacons are kind of a mixed bag. One of the things I admire about this set is that they put so much effort into these robot modes, despite the fact that this is not their primary intended mode. And I think anybody buying this set kind of understands that, but it's still not bad. Actually, there's kind of a charm to these figures. I know some people are going to be like, well, I didn't buy this for the charm, but there's Takara can still make good toys, and there's something very toyetic about playing with these smaller figures. And again, they still have a decent suite of articulation. The paint on them, obviously, is flawless, and they're not going to win any awards in terms of the playability. Also, it's really funny to see how much taller Razor Claw is than the rest of the Predacons, but that's just the sacrifices that they made to make sure that the Predaking is the ultimate display piece. Here's how the Adamas Machina Tantrum, Rampage, and Razor Claw scale with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. In their alternate modes, the Predacons are a lion, a bull, an eagle, a rhino, and a tiger. In their alternate modes, the Predacons are, again, nothing to write home about. Every triple changer has that one mode that seems to get the least amount of attention with the hopes of making another better, and I don't think it's any secret this is definitely that mode. All of the individual limb bots are practically just blocks. I mean, that's about it. There's hardly any articulation on any of them that can make them look any less static than they do now. Razor Claw's articulation isn't too bad, but the rear legs kind of have to stay the way they are to keep the blaster tail plugged in. You might be able to keep it tabbed in and get some more articulation out of the rear legs. Otherwise, I think the front legs are actually not half bad, despite the fact that this mode was kind of sacrificed to make sure that the Predaking could be the coolest figure of all time. But again, the paintwork is just unbelievable on these figures. Metallic orange of different shades, metallic red of different shades, and the blending of the molded plastic color versus the painted color is pretty good. There are some spots, like on Dive Bomb, where you can see the thighs are very clearly an unpainted cast orange plastic versus the metallic orange that they use everywhere else. But honestly, all the paint details in terms of that, like there's more to distract you from the unpainted parts than the unpainted parts are distracting from how good the figure looks. Here's how Adamas Machina Razor Claw scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Artfire, and Leader Class Laser Optimus Prime. In combined mode, the Adamas Machina Predaking has to be, beyond the shadow of a doubt, the greatest Transformer in my entire collection. And I have a lot of Transformers. I have a couple hundred Transformers, and beyond all of the Masterpiece figures, beyond all of the third-party figures, this is the best painted, best articulated figure that I own. Takara set out to make the ultimate collectible Transformer, and they succeeded tenfold, I would say. This figure is an absolute joy to pose. All of the articulation just works, right? This figure comes with an adapter that plugs into the back of the crotch that can be utilized with Masterpiece flight stands that come with the Seekers, I think Dinobot and Jetfire. And once you tighten it up a little bit, I mean, you can put this figure in the air and it holds a pose like it's no problem. And again, the paintwork is just gorgeous. This has to be one of the largest color depths I've ever seen on a figure ever, like the most amount of paints. If you look at the wings, in between each individual, like, winglet, feather, whatever you want to call it, they use different shades. It's not even just gold. Like, there's a silver, there's kind of a faded gold, like a yellowy gold, and then this really kind of almost orange gold. And they didn't need to do that, but they did. And it makes the figure look like little details like that make the figure look so much better. And I say that like it wouldn't look good if it didn't have that. No, this figure is stunning. The sculpt work is fantastic. And if it looks kind of familiar, it wasn't made by Flame Toys, but it was in concept designed by Akira Amamiya, I hope I say that kind of right, who has worked for Studio Trigger and directed the Transformers 40th anniversary special movie with Bump of Chicken. So this guy is serious. He's worked on Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. Like, this figure is astonishing to look at and a joy to pose. The transformation is effectively non-existent, right? You basically just fold the legs up on the individual limbots, rip the wings off the back of Dive Bomb, and put them on Razor Claw. The Razor Claw is pretty good in terms of transformation. It's easy, but again, the articulation is fantastic. It's got a double ab crunch, double knee bend, double elbows. It's just super poseable, and it holds a pose reliably. Look at the stance on this figure, but it still stands. And just, there's so many subtle articulation joints they added, like the subtle wrist tilt. It's great. Is it worth $450? I think so, but I understand it is a lot of money for the best Transformer we've ever seen. Here's how Adamas Machina Predaking scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how Adamas Machina Predaking scales with Fans Toys Variator, Takara Tomy Masterpiece Starscream, and Masterpiece Megatron. Here's how Adamas Machina Predaking scales with Bandai Soul of Chogokin Gurren Lagann, and Adamas Machina Lost Light Rodimus. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at the Takara Tomy Adamas Machina Predaking. I got this figure from Hasbro Pulse at hasbropulse.com. If there are any other figures you'd like me to take a look at next, leave a comment down below. And as always, I'm Leo, reminding you that plastic toys don't belong in plastic prisons. See you next time.